there's a risala that I wanted to read to our brothers, and the sisters can benefit from this too. As I talked about the story, what happened with Qadi Shurayh, or Shurayh al-Qadi, the great tabi'i, and also when he was speaking and addressing the great Imam al-Sha'bi, Amr ibn al-Sharahil al-Sha'bi. But before I get back to that story, I wanted to read this letter. Alhamdulillah, I found it on Sahab, on Sheikh Khalid Bufaydi's website, in the Sahab. And he gave a letter to a brother, or it's a brother, before he married his daughter off. And this is something that will help our brothers too. Before he married his daughter off, he gave her some advice. Before he married his daughter off. And the name of it, the risala, was called A Bunayati, or my daughter, my beloved daughter. So listen to this letter that he gave to his daughter before he married off. And even myself, I contemplated on this a lot myself. I benefited from this letter, from this man who wrote a letter to his daughter before he married her off. So just to skip down before I get back to what I want to talk about, he says, السلام أعظم تحية سلم الله بها على المرسلين وأمر الله عباده المؤمنين أن يحيوا بها نبيه وأنفسهم وعباده الصالحين. He says salam. He gave salams to his daughter. يحفظك من بين يديك ومن خلفك وفي نفسك وبدنك. May Allah protect you from in front of you, from behind you, and in yourself and in your body. And the father said, وتغمر قلبك وتكتنف حركاتك وسكناتك. And the rahmah of Allah, meaning may Allah flood your heart with His mercy, of course, and protect your movements and even the times when you're not moving. Anyway, just to skip back past that, he says, قد كنت يا بنيتي حين أطللت على الدنيا قبل 20 سنة فرحة وبهجة وأنسة. He says, وها أنت تزفين إلى زوجك على أجمل صورة ظاهرة وباطنة ترفلين بثياب الحسن والأدب مع ما من الله به عليك من الدين والخلق فهنيئا لك وهنيئا له. He said to the father, he said to his daughter, this is right before he married her off. He said, oh my daughter, he said, verily since you came into this world, or since you emerged upon the dunya 20 years ago, you was rejoicement, delightment, and comfort. ثم تألقت بعد ذلك أدبا ودلا وسمتا. He says, then after that you became somewhat spoiled, but after that you had manners, etiquette, and you had good character. He says, now here you are now being pushed off or being married off to now you're going now to your what? To your new husband. He says in the most beautiful manner of what is apparent and inwardly. He says, now ترفلين بثياب الحسن والأدب. Now you're being pushed off, or you're being what? Moving now to a new life or a new type of way. In a manner of clothing and likewise mannerism, which is what? Likewise acceptable and delightful. Despite of what Allah has bestowed upon you, now listen, despite of what Allah bestowed upon you, likewise of religion and also likewise etiquette. But congratulations to you and congratulations to him. Just keep listening to what this father said to his daughter. He said, O bunayati, O bunayatay, ليس سهلا على أبا فراق ابنته وحبة قلبه وإن بدا متجلدا وعزاه أن كريمته انتقلت من يد شفيق ومن يد شفيق إلى يد شفيق آخر يتقي الله فيها ويرعى حرمة الزوجية يسرها وتسره يلاعبها وتلاعبه يؤانسها وتؤانسه. He says, oh my daughter, it's not easy upon a father to depart from his daughter and the love of his heart. He says, even though he's showing mutajallid, that he's enduring it, even though he's trying to show it, and he's trying to be strong, but azahu anna karimatu intaqalat. He's trying to show all that type of what? that strength, but it's hard. He says that what was generous to him now is moving on from a hand of a person who is sympathetic to now to another person that's inshallah sympathetic. That he will what? Fear Allah now. And protect her, and he will take in consideration the sacredness of zawjiyah, the life of what? Of marriage. Where he will do his best to try to make her happy, and she will make him happy. And he will play with her. يُدَاعِبُهَا وَتُدَاعِبُهَا. He will play around with her, and she play around with him. And make her comfortable and make him comfortable. He says, وَلَوْلَا ذَاكِ وَلَوْلَا أَنَّ فِي الْبَقَاءِ مَنْقَصَ وَلَوْلَا أَنَّ الزَّوَاجِ مَكْرَمَ وَمَعَزَّةِ ما كان سوادك يفارق سوادي ولا أظلك بيتا غير بيتي إلا أن يشاء الله. He says it wasn't the fact that you remaining here will be something of a manqasa, meaning it will be a fitna for you, meaning you staying in the house, not being married off, and knowing the fact that more than likely she's being tested in herself because she knows she's trying to fight temptation to the end of it. He says it wasn't the fact that also likewise zawaj is considered something honorable and something noble. He says he was being a little bit he was using some high eloquent speech to make it decorated, but just to make it in the more layman's terms, he said that your blackness doesn't reach or leave off my side, meaning that you don't depart. If it wasn't the fact that these affairs were the reality, because we know at the end of the day this is the reality. Women have to be married off. People have to get married. This is how the human beings multiply. This is how they what? This is how their families spread. So marriage is what? It has to take place. It has to what? It's inevitable. So it wasn't the fact that marriage was something honorable and noble. Then you will not depart from my side. You will stay with me. And I will not have you in a house other than my house, except what Allah wills. However, this is the sunnah of the people the first. It is the guidance of the prophets and messengers. And this is basically saying the law in the affair of life. And how progeny, what? Continues. And how people, what? Stay in the earth. He said, لا زلت يا بنيتي كريمة على أبويك تتقلبين من بين بيتيك بيت تالد وبيت طريف فطيبي نفسا وقري عينا. To the end of what he says, inshallah, you still are very generous and honorable upon your two parents. He says that you what? That you flip now you're moving between two houses. From a house in which was talid, that he gave you that comfort, in which you used to remain in, and also used to laugh in. He says, for now, فَطَيِّبِ نَفْسًا وَقَرِّ عَيْنًا. May your eyes be cool. May your eyes have that coolness. And may you also have that what? That well-being in yourself. Now listen to this. This is what the father said. Then he goes on to give advice of what to do and what not to do. And what men like and what they don't like. And what women like and what women don't like likewise. Listen to after he gave this beautiful muqaddimah, this introduction to his daughter. I kind of skipped a couple of lines just to the sake of time. He gave a beautiful introduction to his daughter he was about to marry off. Now listen to this. He said, وَمَعَ ذَلِكِ فَإِنَّ الْحَيَاةِ الزَّوْجِيَّةَ لَا تَخْلُو مِنْ عَوَارِضٍ تَقْتَضِيهَا طَبِيعَةُ الْبَشَرِ. So now he's being real with his daughter. Being real with her. So despite of that, he says, marital life, he says it's not free from awarid. Things that's going to take place in your marriage. That's going to what? That's going to take place. A little bit of discrepancies, a little bit of sometimes differing, sometimes not agreeing. Those are called awarid. Things happen. It just happens. It's part of life. Listen to this tremendous advice he gave to his daughter. He says, this is what the nature of man necessitates. There's going to be little discrepancies. There's no such thing as a what? Flawless life. It's being real. He says, وَقَدْ وَقَعْ أَشْيَاء مِنْ ذَلِكِ فِي بَيْتِ النُّبُوَّةِ. Now listen to this. Verily it's taken place from that similar in the house of prophethood. Then the Prophet ﷺ likewise, something happened with his wives. Then things take place with his wives. Didn't it? Isn't that the reality? He says, verily that happened in the house of prophethood. And also وَحُجُرَاتِ أُمَّهَاتِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا تَبْتَئِسِي لِمَا قَدْ يَعْرِضُ لَكِ. He said, likewise, that happened in the dwelling places of the mothers of the mu'mineen. So do not feel sad or grieve of what's going to happen to you. So he's being real to his daughter, giving her advice that reality is there's more than likely going to be problems. وَلَيْسَ الشَّأْنِ. Now listen to what he says to her. وَلَيْسَ الشَّأْنِ فِي حُصُولِ عَارِضٍ مَا وَلَكِنَ الشَّأْنِ فِي أُسْلُوبِ مُوَاجَهَتِهِ وَالتَّخْفِيفِ مِنْ وَقَعِهِ ثُمَّ تُجَاوِزُهُ. He said the affair, all of the affair. He says it's not in the fact that these things are not going to happen. He says the affair was took into consideration is how you deal with it. في أسلوب مواجهته. How you what? Face it on. How you what? How you engage or how you take it on. How you endure it. How you deal with it. He says also likewise doing the best to what? To relieve yourself of it. And then get past it. Get over it. And move on. So then he goes on to say, وفي الحياة الزوجية من الأفراح والمباهج ما يغمر الكدر الطارئ ويعيد الصفو الأصيل وإذا بلغ الماء قلتين لم يحمل الخبث. Verily, he says the life or marital life, you shall have a lot of enjoyment, of course, and have a lot of rejoicement and a lot of what? Good times, of course. He says, and if that's the case, but the good times are more, he says if the good times are more, then it will what? It will overflood the little dirt particles that might what? Come inside of water. He's just giving like an expression. I think everybody knows the point I'm trying to make. He says, وَيْعِيدَ الصَّفْوَ الْأَصِيلِ وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْمَاءُ قُلَّتَيْنِ لَمْ يَحْمِلِ الْخَبَثِ. So then he goes on to say, of course, this is what marital life is supposed to be. You see, there's good times. There's more good times, of course. That will overflood those little dirt particles that come about from time to time. He says, and it will bring back the original purity. Because we know water, if it reaches a certain level, everybody knows this in fiqh, then the impurities will not remain. Meaning that the water will what? That which is of. The clean water will remove and wipe out the what? The impurities. Meaning that the good times, of course you have in your marriage, there's going to be what? Little dirt particles that might come in from time to time. Then it will what? But however, that which is of. What dominates or what takes precedence is more good times, it will wipe away the what? The bad ones. So this is what he goes on to say to his daughter. He says, listen to this advice. He says that I have written down. He says, since your marital, or since your khitbah, he says, since your marriage now has started, or your marital engagement has started. He says, and what has came over me of what will make me happy, or something that might even make me upset. Something that even happens to me in my marital life. In order for you to know of what will you hope for, as far as being an ideal spouse and an ideal wife, where you will be happy and you will make him happy. So listen to the first advice. Listen to the first advice he gave to his daughter. أكرمي مثواه ليكن بيتك listen نظيفا منظما طيب الرائحة لا سيما ما يتعلق به من لباس وفراش ومجلس ومكتب فإن الرجل تأسره الخدمة ويزعجه الإهمال. The first advice he gives her. He says, as much as a woman is able, this is the first thing Gates said to his daughter, keep your house clean. Keep your house clean and munawwam. Keep it what? Organized. Keep your house clean and keep it organized. Let it have a good scent. Especially of what is connected with clothes, furniture, where you sit, in his office or whatever. For verily, he says, a man, what will give him or hold him captive, of course, is when they see a woman is doing these type of affairs. Of course, I think every man in this room is, inshallah, is attracted to that. You see a woman's house is clean, nice odor, nice scent. It makes a man feel what? Relaxed, at home. It's at home. Feel relaxed. He says, for verily this will be or make him a captive, this type of service. And what irritates him is being neglectful. Of course, a lot of men, of course, we know. You come into a house, everything is just thrown everywhere. We're not talking about women with a bunch of children. That's something different. I'm talking about now he's just marrying his daughter off. She don't have any children yet. She doesn't have any children. So what? So a man likes to come home to where it's what? Clean, organized, to the end of it. This will what? This will what? Make him a captive to you. Because he wants to come home. So number one. So this is the second advice he gave to his daughter. وَأَكْرِمِي نَفْسَكِ الْبَسِي فِي بَيْتِكِ مَا يُعْجِبُهُ وَالْبَسِي خَارِجَهُ مَا يُرْضِي رَبَّكِ. Allahu Akbar. So to the second advice he gave to his daughter. Wear in the house what he likes. Wear in the house what he likes. Wear outside the house what pleases your Lord. Wear in the house what will please him. Wear outside the house what pleases your Lord. إياك أن يجد منك رائحة غير مستحبة في الفم أو البدن والثياب. This is what the father said to his daughter. I warn you that he finds from you a bad smell that's displeasing in your breath, in your body, in your clothes. Number 3, he said to his daughter, أكرمي أهله لا سيما أبويك تفتقديهم وأظهري الاحتفاء بهم أجيبي دعوتهم واحضري مناسباتهم وإياك أن تبدي الاحتفاء بأهلك وتهملي أهله وقرابته. He says, honor his family. Honor his family. Let's say, especially his parents. Show that you miss them. Show that you want to what? أظهر الاحتفاء بهم. That you would like to what? Express your what? Your interest to want to see them, to talk to them, to what? To at least greet them. Also answer their what? Answer their invitation. Go to some of their what? Their munasabat. Go to some of the occasions or some of the things or some of the engagements they might have. He says, I warn you of what? Just showing that it's all about your family and you're totally neglecting his and his relatives. Like I said, brothers, keep in mind, we're not talking about certain situations where, our family are a little bit, they exceed the boundaries in Islam. We're not talking about that. We're talking about if everything was so-called supposed to be correct. Even in a manner, like we said, with the non-Muslim family, still, one should fear Allah to the best of the ability and try to what? Establish the relations with your spouse's family as much as one is able. Because like we said, people look at family now, or family values have dropped dramatically. Where a person, when they get married, we look at it as we're bonding families. Because that's what's going to play a role in stopping this crime out here. And stopping these children from doing crazy things in the street, corruption, and all those other things. Anyway. So the fourth advice he gave to his daughter. اجتهدي في تقديم ما تقدرين عليه من صنوف الخدمة فإن ذلك يسره. Says, be diligent and work hard in putting forth what you're able of every type of what? Of service, of serving him, as much as you're able. Because verily that will make him happy. ولا تتبرمي من زواله فإن عجزتي لعارض فأبلغيه عذرك ولا تحملي نفسك ما لا تطيقين. He says also likewise, if he has some visitors, so don't be weary or don't be like I said, I feel like here comes this gal, here comes these visitors coming around. For verily if you're not able, due to something that might have happened to your body, or maybe something might happen in the house, some women that are very meticulous, they say, listen, I don't want the guests coming over my house, looks like this. They're embarrassed, they're shy. He said, if this is the case, give your excuse in the most respectable manner. Give an excuse. Saying, babe, the house is not, it's not clean, it's not organized. Me, myself, I'm not organized. Knowing how to speak and talk with etiquette, respectable, and with manners and respect and integrity. Knowing how to convey and knowing how to communicate in a respectable manner. And do not hold now and endure and take upon burdens that you're not able. So he's saying that to the what? To his daughter. If something came over where the guest cannot come in, express your excuse in a respectable manner. And inshallah, once a man sees that a woman is honorable, he'll honor her if he's a good man. Of a woman that shows honor, that she's an honorable woman, with this type of what? This type of way. If a good man is a good man, he will honor her. He will honor her and treat her with honor. Number 5. كوني منظمة في مواعيدك ووجباتك ونومك واستيقاظك ولا تسبقيه بالنوم. Listen to this. He says, be منظمة. Be organized. As far as in your times, as much as you're able, your foods that you prepare, your sleep, and when you wake up. Listen to what the father told his daughter. Do not precede him in sleep. Don't precede him in sleep on the first night. Don't precede him in sleep on the first night. Do not be engrossed in sleep in the morning and he's in the house. وَلَا تَنَامِ دُونَ ضَبْطِ الْمُنَبِّهِ. Don't sleep unless the alarm clock has been set. You will be blessed in your day, and likewise your needs will be less during the day, inshallah. حاولي أن تتقني جميع المهارات. Also likewise, if as much as you're able, try to perfect all the skills in which a woman who's responsible for her house is able, such as cooking, sewing, or organization, or administrating affairs in the house. 7th advice he gave her. Make your work or your domestic duties. He says try to do it during the time where he's not there. وَافْرُغِي لَهُ حِينَ إِيَابِهِ. Then devote to him when he comes home. So do your domestic affairs, handle them when he's what? He's not there. Then, if as much as you're able, devote towards helping him once he's in the house. He's home. بادري بتلبية طلباته حتى ولو لم تكن عاجلة لأن الحزم في الأمور يريحك مما لا بد لك من والتسويف ينسيك ويشعر زوجك بعدم المبالاة. He says also hasten towards trying to what? Answer his call, his requests. Even if it's not something that it's not in a rush. It could be done, of course, at a later time, but still try to do it and have it done, even though it could be probably done later. But if you're able to do it now, then do it now. He says, because al-hazm, showing that you're what? You're showing the appreciation when you're getting it done and moving expeditiously and trying to have it finalized quickly in affairs, it will what? It will relax you. Then affairs that you have to do. He said, putting in procrastination, it will make you forget, and it will also put the feeling in your husband that you don't really care. You don't really give it, you don't care. Listen to this 9th advice he gave his daughter. لا تسترسلي في المكالمات الهاتفية أثناء وجوده في المنزل. Don't prolong phone calls during your husband being in the house. Do not prolong phone calls while your husband is in the house. Prolonging phone calls. Of course, by all means, if it's something of emergency, then again, we just mentioned it said, our sisters, if it's something emergency, my mother is talking. Oh, babe, this is my mother. Then say it. Communicate. This is a problem with a lot of our relationships. People, it's like they have this attitude like, who's she? I ain't got to tell her. She should know. Or brothers have the advice the same thing. Women will have the attitude to their husbands. Man, he should know. He need to figure it out. When are we going to start having this hardcore jahiliyyah attitude? Knowing that you see, where has it got us in our communities? Where? That jahiliyyah hardcore, who he think? I ain't no nut. He need to figure it out. Or brothers say, man, she all right. I don't need to. I ain't got to tell her nothing. I'm a man. When are we going to start having some softness and appreciation and communicate and knowing how to talk to each other in an honorable fashion? Where has it gotten us in our communities? I'm asking. This is the fruits of it. We got broke women upstairs, and we got brothers probably that's been married here 5, 6, 7 times, some of them. This is where it's gotten us. So when are we going to stop this stuff? When is it going to stop? And the reality is going to take place, brothers. It hits, because I'm just being upfront with you guys. My daughter, I have to marry off, and I'm going to marry off soon. And it's tearing me apart that I have to marry my daughter off. because it's a reality. And it's not going to hit home until now. The way you treated the women is when your daughter now is being treated the same way. Because that's how the sunnah of the world goes around. You treat people a certain way, then you find out it's being done to you where it really hurts, which is through someone you love. Then you think, man, I treated so-and-so like that. Dang, it's happening to me right now with my own daughter. That's when it really hits. See, a lot of people don't think of it that way. It's a game. It's cool. Yeah. We going out on a date. Yeah, we turning up. We haven't gone to, we turning up. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun in games now. But no, for sure, it's repercussions. Everything is a game and a joke until the repercussions come back. Then it's not funny no more. See, now when we see our daughters and our children now being dealt with in the same manner, then we now start to feel some type of way. So this is what we have to realize. So again, listen to what he says. Don't prolong the phone calls when he's in the house. And if a woman knows that she has to take the phone call, then of course express it in a mannerable a very respectable manner. Babe, this is my mom. Babe, this sister just called me. She said that something happened in the street. Babe, something just happened. And I'm sure if the husband is a good man, he will understand. All right, go ahead, handle your business. But just being on the phone, you hear, girl, and I'm sure brothers have heard this, and they're like, what is she talking about? Who is she talking to? That's the type of thing what we're talking about now. Prolonging these type of unnecessary phone calls while he's in the house. As far as business, like, babe, I'm trying to pay a bill. Then the man should understand. Babe, I'm trying to talk to my mother. Babe, I'm talking to so-and-so. Babe, something just happened. And then once a woman brings builds that type of reliability, then automatically in the mind of a man, it should click. My wife, I know she's not that type of person. If she's on the phone prolonging in the house while I'm here, then it's something that's going on. Something going on that she has to speak. Point number 11. This is the other advice he gave her. He says, تجنبي مجادلتها مهما كانت قناعتك برأيك واكتفي بالبيان مرة واحدة فإن كثرة الجدال توغر الصدور ولا تحقق المقصود. He said, abstain from arguing and bickering with him, going back and forth. No matter how much you are content with your opinion. No matter how much you are content with your opinion. Suffice with clarification. One time, respectfully. Babe, I can't do that because of this. Babe, I'm sorry, I can't do it because of this. This is taking place. Babe, I'm sorry, we can't do it because I had to pay this bill. So the money not there. You can't do it. You have to be mature. Doing it respectfully. Clarify it. Say it to your husband. He said, for verily, an abundance of bickering and argumentation, he says, it will what? It will pollute the chest. Meaning, it will what? It will put something in your heart for your husband. And it will not carry out what is intended, what is the ultimate goal. Rather, humbling yourself in front of your husband, he says, it will what? It will attain his sympathy, if he's a good man. Showing that a woman is humble, showing that what? That she's able to break herself down in a humble manner. But a lot of us, like we said, we're the opposite. I ain't going to show him I'm weak. Strength is when, ya ma'ashal ikhwa, like we said, strength is when you're able. When a woman is able to show her femininity, and you're able to what? You're able to humble yourself where you're able to accept it. And not showing always and all the time that it's from a man to what? Be hard and strong. No. Oh man, I'm a man. Like, yeah, you all right. Babe, I love you. You know I love you, right? But I can't do it. Because good man's a good man, he would say, you know what? You're right, babe. I'm sorry. Instead of having this attitude, man, shut up. Why don't you shut up? You fat anyway. Nobody wants you anyway. You ever look in the mouth? You look at that gut that's hanging over your waist? Look in the mirror. Look, go ahead. That's a vicious tongue. This is how we speak to our women. No, for sure you have daughters. A lot of us in this room have daughters. Put yourself in a position where do you want a man speaking to your daughter like that? How would you feel? See, all of us, we're from the street. I'm ready to get my gun, blow his head off. What about the man who you was treating his daughter to? You think he might not have felt the same way? We have to reality check ourselves. And this is how we're going to start solving the problems in our communities and help building the self-esteem of our sisters back up. Because they're broken. They are. I hear the complaints all the time. You can tell sisters are broken. Like we talked about, listen to all the things and the demands and the pressures they got to go through every day. Remember in the first part of the lecture that I said, right, everyone? Women got to deal with so many competition out there. And it's sad that our brothers now, they want that non-Muslim look. They want the woman with the weave all the way down to her booty. They want the woman with the big old butt. I'm just being real. She got to have this big old waist. She got to have a fine waistline like this. No stomach, no varicose veins, no cellulite, no nothing. Of course, a non-careful woman, first of all, she don't got to make wudu. She don't got to make no wudu. She can keep the weave in her hair. What's stopping her? Islam? I don't believe in that. That's your religion. Second of all, on top of that, of course, she could get all this work done, and she ain't got 5 of your kids. Or 6 of your kids, do she? 3 of your kids, 2 of your kids, 4 of your kids, 5 of your kids. She got to make wudu all the time. Then make a ghusl. Might make a ghusl. God satisfy my husband. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot. Then I got to go to work. Since your job is not adequate for all the bills, I got to work too. It's a lot of pressure. That's why they broke. Number 12, he said to this daughter, also advice. So notice I'm advising our brothers and I'm advising our sisters simultaneously. You notice I'm going back and forth. It's kind of like a pool. I'm doing it strategically. But anyway, number 12. تحملي مزاجه وإن بدا لك ثقيلا فاحتمالك مزاجه حال رضاه أهون عليك من تجريحه حال سخطه. Listen to this advice, this key advice. Put up with his demeanor. Even sometimes you might find the demeanor time to time is real it's heavy. For verily you able to tolerate his demeanor while he's in a state where he's pleased. He says it's more easy upon you than trying to insult him and trying to put him down in the state while he's While he's angry. Meaning beating him down while he's down. Beat him down. Hey, get up. What are you crying for? Man, like you said, we endure a lot of pressures too. The thing that helps a man keep going is when they see that his woman is feminine. Showing that femininity. Men need that to help keep going. They need that softness. And they need some hardness at certain times too. They need both. No doubt. Especially myself. And I'm talking about myself. I got a strong personality. It is what it is. My wife, sometimes she knows when to be soft with me. And she knows sometimes when to put a foot in my behind. And she knows that's good for me. But she does it respectfully. She doesn't call me out my name. She doesn't say you P, you N-word, you D-word, you mother E, to the end of it. She doesn't say that. She knows how to She knows when I need that softness. And she knows when I need that that foot in my behind. But she does it respectfully. She doesn't call me out my name. You dumb N-word, you D-word, you mother E-word, to the end of it. Those words are not used. I never heard that coming out of my wife. Those words are not used with my wife. And every time she knows when she does that, she gets what she wants out of me. Because she knows how to She knows when to use that feminine, that side. And then she knows when I need that That heart, that assertiveness. I need that assertiveness to keep me Keep me straight, keep that balance. But that's the problem now. Due to America, the women now, everything is thrown off. Because America teaches everybody can have mixed roles. And it's unfortunate, it's sad to say that people are accepting this type of way of a life. It isn't. When people don't know their roles, things are now It's chaotic. To the point where they think of men are like women are like men, or you could be both at the same time, or whatever. Confusion. When people know their roles and know their selves, and they're also confident by starting with the Aqidah first and knowing about their Lord and knowing that there is going to be a Lord that's going to hold them accountable, then that's when things are going to start changing, especially in our households. So notice that he said put up with his demeanor. even though it might be sometimes a little bit heavy. For verily you putting up and enduring his demeanor while he's in a state where he's pleased, where you see that he's in a good mood, is more easy upon you than what? Insulting him during the time where he's angry, when he's what? Going through things. Beat down. I'm going to beat you down even more. Kick you while you're down. Bang. Feel that. That's how we are. That's how the Muslims supposed to be. That's how the Salafis supposed to be with each other. Kick you while you're down. That's the manhaj we on. Or are we supposed to uplift people and be merciful because we want Allah to be merciful on ourselves? Because we know the hadith, Ar-Rahimuna yarhamuhum ar-Rahman, irhamu man fil ard, yarhamukum man fis sama. We know all these ahadith. We come to class. Then as soon as something happen in our lives that don't go our way, we go back to what? Jahiliyyah. Go back to either being from so-and-so from the street or Bonquisha from what? From the hood. That's what we go back to when what? Something doesn't go wrong in our lives. We learn all these ahadith day and night. Oh, I know that hadith. All right, can you apply it now? A brother insulted you. Why can't you just walk away? Why you have to retaliate and go back and forth with him? Then do it in front of the masjid because shaitan loves that. See, look at these two dumb Muslims arguing while the kuffar looking. Look at the two Muslims acting like monkeys in front of the masjid. Look. That's what shaitan sets it up, especially with the Salafis, because shaitan knows that the Salafis is the one who truly have life on this earth left. Because they're the people of the truth. So he loves to stir up a lot of fitna with them, the most. He loves it. So now you guys arguing in front of the masjid will be a reason for the non-Muslim across the street to say, see, told you. That's the reason why I want to be Muslim. Look at that. Look at the girls with the two bodies on their head, the black scars, tearing it off. Look at them. Yep. Well, all you had to do was fear Allah and be confident and just walk away. Bye. You dumb bee. I know your Louis Vuitton is fake. It's a fake pocketbook. And you know in your mind, that's the confidence and the self-esteem coming. You know in the back of your mind. You just don't know. First of all, I'm not going to rock a Louis Vuitton. This is real. Because I'm confident like that. That's how a woman would what? Play it. And I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm going to just have class. I'm walking away. And that's even with myself. I'm not rocking nothing of Cartier, nothing. This is real. That's how I'm doing it. And if someone say, oh, that's fake, I know you what? You're not confident in yourself because why are you worried about me? I don't worry about what other men wear. I don't worry about men's weight. I don't worry about what they wear. I don't worry about none of that. If Allah's giving it to you, alhamdulillah. But I ain't got to worry about another man. Oh, is that fake or not? That shows that you have some low self-esteem and confidence in yourself. It's the truth. Thirteenth advice. So then he goes on to say to his daughter, احذري من انتقاده بمقارنته. This is tremendous advice he said to his daughter. Listen to this one. احذري من انتقاده بمقارنته بإقرانه فإن ذلك يخدش رجولته ويحمله على مقابلتك بالمثل ووقع ذلك على المرأة الشد من وقعه على الرجل. Listen to what the father said to his daughter here in the 13th advice. Be cautious of you criticizing him in front of his friends or in front of people who he respects and loves. Verily, that will what? That will infringe upon his manhood. That will infringe upon his manhood. ويحمله على مقابلتك بالمثل. And it will also be an incentive for him to do the same thing back to you. And we know, and this is what the father said to his daughter, we know that is even more severe for a woman, for that to be done to a woman than a man. Because women are real, they have their insecurities about themselves. So that is real what? Real hard upon them. They're emotional. So he told his daughter not to do this. Now listen to the fourth advice. There's a couple more left, so it's not going to be too long. احفظي أسرار بيتك وحاولي حل مشاكلكما الصغيرة داخله. Listen to this 14th advice. Protect the secrets of his household. Protect the secrets of his household. Try to solve your small problems inside of the house. فإن أحوج الأمر إلى مشورة فأقرب الناس إليك أبويك فلا تترددي ولا تكتمي فإن ذلك يؤذيك والنفس تستريح بالبث إلى ذي عقل. He says, try to solve your minor problems in the house. If the affair needs consultants, where you need some type of advocate. I don't want to say advocate, but a person that can help you, give you advice. Then let it be the closest person to you. Then this needs a little bit of details. Of course, maybe getting advice from your family, but we know, especially due to our parents not being Muslim. Of course, he's probably talking about Muslim parents here. Due to them not being Muslim, of course, we know that they don't understand. So now, and the worst thing, and it's sad, the worst thing that messes up our marriages is because a lot of sisters have bad friends giving them bad advice. Either due to the fact they have non-Muslims advising them, or they non-Muslim mother advising them, or they have Muslims that don't want good for her advising them. So they destroy it, and then she what? Then as soon as the new marriage starts up in another marriage, she thinks, like, what was I thinking? My previous situation wasn't all that bad. My husband wasn't all that bad. Now I'm in a situation, we know 9 times out of 10, those situations when they get into it as new is worse. Because it teaches you a life lesson. And it's sad that we have to always go through certain things that's severe in order to wake up. Even with brothers. And a lot of brothers out there, plus I know a lot of stuff that's going on. People think I don't know. I do know. Do these sisters dirty, do her dirty. Then and I've heard my brothers even complain, it's hard to find good women out here. Just like it's hard to find good men out here. There, she wasn't all that bad. What was I thinking? Then you want to try to call her up while she's married. And I have to say that. Because I know brothers that do that. Trying to call her now. You want to call her now on the phone. While she married now? I'm sorry. So what you want me to do, brother? Divorce my husband, come back to you? You really think Allah's going to bless us? We're going to have a blessed relationship? It's about Allah. It's not about the street and you getting yourself gratification. Stuff is about Allah at the end of the day. Right now, if I was to divorce my husband because you just called me on this phone, talking to me, we ain't supposed to be talking, you really think that me going back to you is going to be a blessed situation? And that Allah is going to bless us? And if you have the nerve to do this while you're married, or while I'm married and you married too, what will make you think when I go back to you, you ain't going to do it to me? And call some other sister, I want you back with another man's wife. We have to call each other to account. This is the reality. And everybody knows, alhamdulillah, in Philly, I speak real. This is the reality that's going on in our communities. Fifteenth advice. لا تهجري فراشه مهما كان السبب وإلا فسيعتاد الاستغناء عنك. Listen to this, another advice he gave to his daughter. Do not boycott the bed with him. No matter what the reason is. For verily he'll become acclimated for not needing you in the bed. الاستغناء عنك, I don't need you to sleep here anyway. Go ahead, sleep in another room. You start getting used to it, it's going to be a problem. 16th advice. احتسبي على ربك كل ما تقولين. This is the final advice, and he gives a great advice for this. And subhanAllah, I should have mentioned this first. But at any rate, this is the last one. Take into account you with your Lord. See, Aqidah now. Goes back to Aqidah. not only in this area now, where even in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and all these other places now, even up the street, the Ikhwani masjids, and even amongst these new callers that everybody being deceived by, making war with the da'wah of the Prophet sallallahu of Tawheed, looking down upon it, everybody's going to that direction. A lot of people, not saying, a lot of people going to that direction. And like we said, we've seen the likes of these type of calls. Anybody that doesn't do what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu does in his da'wah, it's going to fail. I don't care how much fiqh you teach. I don't care how much fiqh you can fiqh a person's head out and his brain out. I don't care. If you do not start what the Messenger of Allah did for 13 years, your da'wah is going to fail. Fail. Is that my words? No. That's the words of Allah. وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقِ الرَّسُولِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. That's what Allah says. You go against the Messenger of Allah and his methodology, what? Turmoil in this world and in the world, this world and the hereafter. You can fiqh a person's brain out. Because I heard now they go to these new masajid, i'tidal, wasatiyah, all these other nonsense, these new calls of they trying to fiqh the people's heads out, fiqh. And I'm asking people right now, does this make sense? If I put a tree up with branches with no trunk on it, you think it's going to stay up in the air? It's 1 + 1 equals 2. I'm asking. You try to put branches up on a tree with no trunk on it, no root. Where's it going to happen? They're going to fall right on the ground. Things are just simple and clear as day. That's the route you want to take, but that's where people are going towards now. But however, we see that the Salafis are working to try to correct the people's minds and build their self-esteem up based upon this origin. And this is what we're trying to do. That's the reason why you see in a lot of the classes, everybody knows Abdur-Razzaq focuses Aqeedah, Tawheed. Why? Because it's what? It's rectifying the people's mindset and it's going to build their self-esteem back up. Because I'm trying to build a tree with a trunk on it. That's what? Found and laid down in the ground real well. So when the branches do come, they stay strong. So when the winds come, when a person insults you in the masjid, you won't be arguing in the masjid. Because you know you have a Lord that's watching you. And you wouldn't be thick that what? Try to now cause some commotion in the house of Allah. That should be arguing. I'm not going to argue with some sister that thinks that I got a fake Louis Vuitton bag on or something like that. I'm not doing that in the house of Allah. I have more honor for myself to do that. I have more respect for myself to do something like that. I have respect for Allah's religion to do something like that. But you know what we've been cultivated upon is what? Tit for tat. Tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. Who's thinking you're going to talk to me like that? I'm going to show you who I am. All that jahili is going to hell. So leave it in there. Last advice he gave her. He says, contemplate. He says, and take into account with your Lord. What you say. This is the last advice he gave to his daughter. What you say and what you do in obedience to your husband. For verily that will be from those affairs that will necessitate you in entering paradise. So he took it back to Aqidah again. وفي الحديث أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا صلت المرأة خمسها مسلم الإمام أحمد وحصنت فرجها وطاعت بعلها another narration says زوجها دخلت قيل لها ادخلي الجنة من أي أبواب الجنة شئتِ. To the end of it. If a woman prays her 5 on time, not when she's in the mall saying, I'm going to pray when I get home knowing that the time went out. No. On time. Even if you got to get your prayer rugs and pray in the back of your car where people can't see you, your prayer's done on time. Pray your 5 on time. She keeps her private parts chaste. Chaste and chaste, you can say either one. وَطَاعَتْ بَعْلَهَا. Obeys her husband. So, brothers and sisters, this is from what pleases your Lord. Because I know here in America, women have been brought up upon as what? Go against a man. You don't need a man. Allah is trying to say, yes, you do. Allah, Mastaghfirullah, let me rephrase that. Allah says, yes, you do. You do. Allah has clearly made that in his book. You do. You needed your father, just like now when he marries you off, you're going to need that man. And that's the reason why the society is messed up now. Because there's no fathers in the houses raising these daughters, these girls, and taking time out for them. So that's the reason why they got a bunch of issues with men. Am I right or wrong? So a woman now, it's about Allah. Allah is saying you have to what? Humble yourself. It's sad that like when it comes back to the Aqidah, sisters, you shouldn't be bitter over what? If you was in a situation where you did your best you could. A person only feels guilty when they know that they wasn't upright. A person doesn't feel guilty when they're able to walk out of a relationship. Either they did the best they could or they tried to make it right. No one tries to feel, they don't feel guilty after that. I did the best I could. I've been upright as much as I could. And if I did wrong, I tried to fix it. So I don't feel no type of way in my chest. Right? However, a person feels guilt when they know they were wrong. So it haunts them in their head. So now, what is the means now? The means now to try to rectify yourself is to say at the end of the day, I'm not going to be bitter. Because a lot of women are bitter because of bad relationships. And their self-esteem plummets, goes down the drain. This is where your Aqidah comes in, where you've been learning all these classes in Masjid Nabawiyah and also here and also in the different classes that has been circulated in Philadelphia. This is where the application comes in, especially when someone has done you wrong. When someone says something to you wrong. That's where the test comes in. Whether it be in the masjid, whether it be with your wife, whether it be with your husband, or whether it be with your own friends. That's when the Aqidah manifests itself where your self-esteem now, what your so-called reality, the strength of your self-esteem manifests itself. Where if a person looks at you funny, is looking at you funny, you just keep it moving like, what's up? You all right? You good? I don't have to sink down to a level of ignorance. And nor do I have to retaliate to prove that I'm a strong man. I don't. Because that's what the message of Allah did. The message of Allah, it was honor. He was an honorable, revered man. The man came from the Bedouin and grabbed him by his collar. It says, Sunabi Dawood. Picked him up. Message of Allah say to him, you stupid dumb N-word. What you doing, man? You know who I am? Prophet didn't say any of that. You know what he did? When he picked him up by his collar, and the Sahaba were looking like, what? This man crazy. You know what the Prophet said? He smiled at him. Smiled. And I know women up there saying, yeah, that's a real man. It's eternal. Because his son was a real man. Alayhi salatu wasalam. Smiled at him. Because we know the hadith of the Messenger of Allah was what? The Prophet was giving the strength like 10 men. He could have easily cracked him. He was the Messenger of Allah. What's the reason for me getting upset with you? For what? Hit you for what? For why? Why would I want to do that? For what? Prophet ﷺ had too much class for that. Too much honor for that. Too much physical strength for that. And nor do I have to make it known by saying, you know who I am. I don't have to say that. If you have self-confidence in yourself, you already know who you are. I don't have to say it. Right or wrong? You don't have to verbalize nothing. If you truly have confidence in yourself. Is it right? Everybody knows I just talk from my heart. That's it. Talk from my heart. That's it. I keep it moving. But it's for the what? It's in order to aid the haq. You know I don't care about the Ikhwanis up the street. The 15th Street, Tahir, all them idiots. And I have 100% yaqeen they are idiots. I have no doubt in that. No doubt. But as far as the Salafis, you have to realize Shaitan is doing his best to try to what? Because Shaitan knows the Salafis who's truly treading the correct path is the only ones who truly have life in them left. That's it. If we don't get ourselves together, then who's going to be an example for humanity? If the Salafis are not going to rectify themselves, we're the only. And I'm going to quote just what our brother Umar Quinn quoted, because I have a lot of respect for Umar Quinn. Umar Quinn said in a lecture, he said one day, he said, we're the only people who's left to set an example for this creation. If we're not around, who's going to be an example for the people? Who? Who? We're the only people that has the what? That's going to be the example for the people, for the creation. If we don't get it together, then who's going to set an example for them? If we see two sisters out here screaming and hollering and socking and pulling their overhead abiyahs and punching and cursing and sounding like bonquisha outside the masjid, what do you think the non-Muslims are going to say when they see this nonsense? So this is the advice that the father gave to his daughter. This was tremendous advice. Wasn't it tremendous advice? Said to his daughter before he married her off. Talked about how much he's going to miss her, that he's going to go to another house, that you're going to move to now to the responsibility of another man. All these things is what? Was weighing on him. In spite of that, he still gave her this golden advice of how to carry yourself like a lady, what to do and how to deal with a man properly, and knowing how to express yourself without being disrespectful, and showing in certain circumstances when you need, knowing how to convey and talk and deal with your husband in a very respectable and having class and having shown his husband honor and respect for a man that deserves it. No doubt. For a man that doesn't deserve it, then the sister needs to have enough self-esteem to know when it's time to move on. And likewise, vice versa, with men too. You know that a woman is not good for you? And it's sad to say that we have a mentality where we love bringing the evil out of each other. I don't know where we get this mentality from. That's dysfunctional behavior is not from our religion. Like, I'm just going to find how I'm going to make her upset. Or a sister say, I'm going to just find a way I'm going to bring that evil out of her. Where do you get that from? That's satanic. I'm going to push this button. I'm going to push her buttons. I'm going to find a way I can make you lose it. What do you... It's like, what did we came to Islam for this type of behavior? That's all jahiliyyah. Allah has commanded us we have to rectify our mindset. We try to bring our relationships and with people in general, not just with our spouses, in general. We now have to learn how to bring the positive attention out of people and bring the positivity out of them and bring the good out of them. Because everybody has some good in them. Knowing how to bring it out the person. Knowing how to dig deep and say, how can get him to smile? I wanted to bring another story where a man commanded his daughter, and I forgot to mention this. He says, when your husband comes in the house, make sure you always keep a smile on your face. Smile. When he walks in the house, smile. Give him a hug. Mercy. And I'm sure some brothers in this man, my wife never give me a hug when I walk in the house. Always walk in and let your husband see you smiling. It makes him feel comfortable after a long day of dealing with a bunch of kufr and nonsense we got to deal with on a daily basis. We want to come in and see our wife smile in our face. We need that type of mercy. We need that softness to get through our days, especially being here in this crazy place called America. We need that. And we need to do it with each other. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that whatever I said correct was from him, and whatever was incorrect was from shaitan and myself. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.